Kintips here. Today I am doing my review of the Nosfet Apex, and there's a lot of things to go over, but enjoy the ride for a bit, and then we'll talk. Alright guys, your buddy Kintips here. We are outside and I am doing my review of the Nosfet Apex. It's still early out, that's why it's still dark. Let's go through a couple of things. Here's the headlight on, because it's kind of dark. You can see a little bit better, as I don't want to blind people, but it doesn't have a, here's the dispersal. It's alright if I angle it higher up. And there's three different levels. That's the highest, and it goes back to off with your daytime running light, which you can't see anything. I think that's pretty good. So here's your tail light, and you can get it to set to blink as well. Now the specs are 2700 watt hours, 3500 watt motor, and what else? Yeah, it's basically, you know, Leaper-Kim or Nosfet's version of the Lynx. So you got your adjustable suspension here. I've already set my suspension. I've only ever did it once. It's actually pretty easy. You unhook these thumb screws and then just pull the wheel down and then just put the thumb screws back on. So you got your mud flap. This kickstand does pop back up, which is good. And I got the fairing plates on, and that's how I have my pads on. So yeah. Seated riding, we'll go through that, but seated riding is pretty good on this. It's actually one of the more comfortable ones to sit on, I believe, from what I've sat on. The worst is the Falcon, because the two bars sit on your ass, right on your ass, and if your ass moves, you will, like, it'll adjust the wheel, and that's the worst. So S18's not bad, S19's pretty good. Yeah, all right, enjoy the ride, guys. Hey guys, here my Apex on the scale. So here's my Apex on the scale, and you can see it is 93 pounds with the fairing kit and the pads. So Alright, so what I like about the Nosfet Apex is that it moves really well. You got your dihedral angle on your pedals. They actually come in handy when you're riding this wheel because you can actually lean better. This moves like a S18 but beefier, a little bit thicker between the legs, but it's not horrible. And yeah, it's pretty nimble. Once you get used to it, this thing moves. Like, I really enjoy riding this wheel. One of the biggest downfalls, of course, is no trolley handle. So there's a train coming. You can see that. That's why you hear the background noise. It's really windy today, so I want to get this review done. And but yeah, this wheel I bought with my own money. It's my most expensive wheel. So is it worth it? Yeah, actually I really enjoy the wheel. I just wish it had a trolley handle. So yeah, and having the bigger tire, you can go up curbs, you can go up anything. Like, you don't feel it. So I can see why people like the bigger tire. So yeah, all right, keep enjoying the ride. I'll tell you what I don't like. If you guys saw that, I had to trolley it around the crosswalk as I'm holding it right now. Really uncomfortable, but it's doable. Unicycle with the Nosfet Apex. I'm waiting for the train to pass, and I can say what I don't like. I notice I'm pedal dipping when you have the pedal assist on, and sometimes when you turn, the wheel dips its pedal. I don't know if that's just a firmware or a LeaperCam issue or whatever, and then so it's just a slight, it's not horrible. At least with the Goad you can actually change that. So some people like that because you can turn into the curves faster, so it doesn't really bother me too much. But it's if you're not used to it, it's kind of unsettling. And then of course the other thing I don't like, of course, is without trolley handle you have to like lean over and do this, but it's not horrible, it's doable. Yes, you can buy that little accessory. I did have that accessory, but I didn't really need it. So other than that, it's a really solid wheel, guys, solidly built. So, and of course you'd have to clean the stanchions periodically, but I haven't needed to do that. So all right, enjoy the ride. All right, so in conclusion, guys, I love this wheel. It moves like an S18. Like I said, only a couple of drawbacks: the trolley handle, the pedal dipping, and it's a slight thing, nothing huge, but it's noticeable sometimes. It's not a huge thing, as I mentioned, but if you're unused to it, it will shock you if you come from like a King Song or a in motion wheel. They don't really have pedal dipping. It's interesting, but like I said, some people like it. Okay, so that said, would I buy this wheel? Yes, this wheel is a good wheel. It's expensive, but it's built like a tank. All right, so I have the Nosfet Apex here, and I have the Arrow here. So let me give you guys a sort of quick comparison. This is, 93, 94 pounds. This is about, with the pads, you're looking about, and the Velcro, probably about 57, give or take, pounds. Oh, I actually have to this too. So those pedals, so probably about 58 pounds. So now, yeah, there's a huge weight difference. Which one do I prefer more? This is a great grab and go wheel, but it's not built like this. This thing's like a tank. Like, this thing will take some damage. Like the metal they use here, like really, really durable. This is some magnesium alloy that can be very easily damaged, scratched. This stuff is like, it's like a tank. So this is definitely built better. This has a trolley handle, more convenient for grab and go stuff, lightweight. This thing has power, and it's very stable. Even though, you might be like, oh, it's actually really stable in the wind. Gusts of wind's not going to knock you over. This is a great wheel. So if I could only buy one, and think about it, the price is actually really close. I got this for about, it was actually really expensive, about 45, give or take. This one was about 29. 100. So, but yeah, so yeah, so it's pretty, if you're gonna choose one wheel, which wheel do I enjoy? If you run a lot of errands and you need the convenience of a trolley handle and the convenience of just like lugging it around, that you can't beat this. It's just the best one. So, but if you aren't gonna do that and you're just really using it for joyriding, trails, and stuff like that, and never gonna run any errands whatsoever, not gonna go into a store or anything like that, this is the wheel of choice. So yeah, it's a great wheel. So if I had the question I ask myself, and people ask me, is if I ever lost a wheel, would I ever rebuy it? I'll tell you right now, if I ever lost this wheel, I probably wouldn't rebuy it. Or would I rebuy this? I probably would. If they made a newer version or something like that, I would probably buy this. It's just because it feels so good when you ride it. I don't know what it is. It's just so much fun riding this wheel versus, it's fun riding this one, but this has a different, unique feel. I don't know what it is. It just feels really fun.